You ever walk into your local gun shop, spot your favorite pistol sitting right there on the shelf, and then next week, it's just gone? No clearance sign, no recall, no warning, just poof. It's not politics. It's not some headline-grabbing ban. What we're talking about is something quieter, something driven by planograms, profit margins, and the cold, hard math of shelf space. That slick HKVP9 at $7.99? It's getting steamrolled by a $379 PSA Dagger. And Ruger's Security 9? Getting boxed out by flashy Turkish imports, loaded with bells and whistles that grab more attention than a Black Friday sticker. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on why solid 9mm pistols just quietly disappear. Not because they failed, but because they didn't sell fast enough. We'll name names, we'll break down the shelf math, and we'll show you how good guns get ghosted, right under our noses. So if you've ever walked into your favorite LGS and thought, wait, where'd that gun go? You're not crazy, and you're definitely not alone. Let's talk about something most folks overlook: shelf space. Every big box sporting goods store runs their gun wall tighter than a custom 1911 slide-to-frame fit. Space equals money, and if a pistol ain't moving fast, it's the first thing to get back-ordered into oblivion. While everybody's chasing micro-compacts with red dots, those mid-tier full-size pistols, the ones without a bold hook, just sit there like dead weight. Doesn't matter how many slide cuts it's got, or if it's rocking a cool guy logo. What matters is how fast that SKU turns. If a .529 polymer pistol needs a $40 rebate, plus 3 promo sales just to move one unit, it's gone, quietly, no press release, no apology. The buyer just stops reordering, trims the peg, and gives that slot to the Flavor of the Month PCC or some two-tone AR nobody asked for. Distributors catch on, then regional chains. Next thing you know, that pistol you liked? Poof, gone. Unless you're digging through the dusty bottom shelf at an old-school LGS run by a guy who still stocks the oddball stuff. Moral of the story? Shelf life ain't about bloodlines. It's about velocity. If a gun doesn't ring the register on Saturday, it's off the planogram by Monday. And that's exactly the kind of quiet retail math that's pulling solid 9mm pistols off shelves across the country. Number 11. FN 509 variants. Why they're quietly vanishing. FN stirred things up when they rolled out the 5.7 Mark III MRD, dropping in at about $14.49. And while that launch got a lot of folks talking, it had some fallout nobody expected. See, shooters were pumped about the 5.7 by 28. It's exotic, fast, and flat shooting. Folks started saving up, dreaming about owning one. But then they saw the ammo price. And yeah, that cooled things off quick. So what happened? A bunch of them pivoted to the FN 509 Tactical instead, thinking they'd stay in the FN family, just step down to 9mm. But even that version's sitting around $1,100. And let's be honest, for most people, that's a tough pill to swallow. Dealers noticed, fast. They started scaling back their orders on the 509 variants to make room for the flashy new 5.7 displays. Trouble is, even that one wasn't exactly flying off the shelves either. Meanwhile, the 509 Midsize Tactical, once a pretty solid seller, started looking worse and worse on the sales sheet. Smaller margins, slower turn rate, just not worth the real estate. FN's own reps even started nudging shops toward the optic-ready MRD models instead. Translation? The other trims, especially the mid-size Tactical, started fading out, real quiet-like. No, they're not officially discontinued. You'll still see 'em in the catalog. But unless your local gun shop's the kind of place that stocks weird or slow movers, odds are that gun's long gone. Number 10. FN 509 Midsize Tactical. Great gun, wrong market. Back in 2019, everyone was chasing compensated slides. That was the hot trend. Flashy ports, gas vents, muzzle brakes, you name it. They looked cool at the range, and, yeah, they got clicks on Instagram. Fast forward to today. Concealed carry folks figured it out real quick. Muzzle blast plus a white shirt equals melted polyester. Now, FN's 509 Midsize Tactical? Man, it's smooth shooting, dead-on accurate, and built like a tank. But it's got one big problem: the price tag. MSRP comes in around $1,100, and that's before you add a suppressor height plate or throw a red dot on top. Out the door, you're sitting north of $1,300. Now think about this. That same buyer could walk out with a $599 optics-ready compact, save the rest for ammo, and still sleep like a baby. Dealers? They ran the numbers. ROI whispered in their ear, drop the comp. Keep the regular. FN never officially discontinued it. But when one store moves a single unit per quarter and another moves 0, you already know how that story ends. Spring orders show up. And guess what's not on the list? This gun didn't fail because it shoots bad. Recoil? Butter. Performance? Legit. But when gas is $50 a tank and primers are pushing 10 cents a pop, most folks just ain't looking to flex with a ported barrel anymore. These days, the midsize tactical is kinda like Bigfoot. Rumored, beloved by enthusiasts, but almost never spotted in the wild. Number 9. The Ruger Security 9 had its moment. Back when it dropped at $369, people rushed to grab it. It was American-made, hammer-fired, affordable, and pretty solid, honestly. But then came the wave. Imports from Turkey, Croatia, even Sweden, showing up on U.S. shelves with sleeker slides, factory night sights, and optic-ready frames, all at the same price. Suddenly, that rugged, no-frills Security 9, it looked like a budget rental gun at a premium price. Here's the thing, it's not a bad pistol. It's accurate, it's reliable. It's built by Ruger, and that still means something. But today's buyers don't want pretty solid. They want either dirt cheap or Gucci level tricked out. Middle ground guns? They die the quiet death. No recall, no scandal, just fewer reorders every month until one day it's gone. And polymer? It used to be a selling point. Now it's a baseline. If everything is plastic, nothing about plastic excites. People are craving metal again, or at least tungsten-blended hybrid frames that feel different in hand. So, yeah, Ruger will keep making them for distributors. But big box stores? They've already moved on. In 2025, good enough just ain't good enough. Number 8. Beretta 92 X R, the classic that got left behind. Beretta launched the 92 X R with a lot of excitement. Full-size alloy frame, optics-ready slide, MSRP around $799, and that classic open-top design that made the 92 famous. Old-school shooters were into it. Early adopters loved the feel, the recoil impulse, the build. But younger buyers? They took one look at the 33-ounce weight and manual safety, and passed. They're looking for striker-fired guns under 25 ounces, something that fits in a sweatpant holster. Not something that feels like you're carrying a duty rig from the 90s. When Beretta dropped the APX A1 carry at $449, it undercut their own flagship. Lighter, cheaper, and more appealing to the current market. Dealers noticed. They cut orders on the 92X, sometimes down to just one per store, and doubled down on micro 9mm. Beretta's not pulling the plug. The 92X still lives, but the priorities shifted. More law enforcement contracts, more direct-to-consumer, less flooding stores that can't move it. Bottom line? The 92X RDO is still an excellent shooter, but today's shelf space doesn't care about timeless. It cares about turnover. Number 7. HK-VP9. Premium feel, discount market. The Heckler & Koch VP9 is a solid piece of engineering. Ergonomics? Fantastic. Trigger? One of the best in its class. But here's the kicker. It sells at around $7.99, and you still gotta buy the optics plate separately. Extra mags? $50 a pop. That wasn't a deal-breaker back in 2014. Back then, HK fans paid the Teutonic premium with pride. But now, welcome to 2025, where inflation hits ammo, components, and gas, and buyers track every damn nickel. Meanwhile, the PSA Dagger drops at $379, and the Canik Meaty series gives you an optics cut, adapters, and extra goodies in the box for under $600. That's a massive delta. And in a market where nearly every striker-fired pistol is good enough, that extra $200 gap? It's a deal killer. Add to that HK's paddle mag release, which diehards love, but new shooters find weird, and sales clerks at the gun counter start steering folks toward easier, cheaper options. Sure, hardcore HK fans still buy VP9, but they're buying them online, avoiding sales tax, and skipping local shops entirely. So stores drop the SKU and make room for higher-margin imports that actually move. Let's be clear, the VP9 hasn't lost its edge. It's still an excellent gun. But when everything else on the wall looks almost as good, for $200 less, the average shooter bails. And that's how a world-class pistol gets ghosted by the market. Number 6. Sig P320. Spectre comp, built like a boss, priced like a unicorn. The Sig Sauer P320 Spectre comp is a work of art. No question. You get the tungsten-infused TXG grip, an integrated compensator, a gold TIN barrel, and a skeletonized flat trigger that feels like it came off a race gun. On paper, it's killer. But here's the problem. $13.99 MSRP. That's not impulse buy territory. That's sell a scope and a turkey tag kind of money. Now put it next to a standard P320X Carry Legion at $8.99, or a P320 Macro Comp at $9.99. To the average shooter, they look 90% the same. So unless you're buying with your heart, not your wallet, you're probably walking away from the Spectre. Retailers know it. They order one unit, mostly as counter candy, something to show off, let people fondle, maybe snap a pic for Instagram. But it sits, and after a few months, that shelf spot goes to something that actually moves. Sig didn't kill the Spectre comp. It just got quietly exiled to custom works, available online if you know where to look. And don't mind waiting for a holiday rebate. Bottom line? Gun nerds still want it, but they hesitate. And while they're hesitating, another macro just took its place on the rack. Number 5. Beretta APX A1 Carry. Great on paper, gone in practice. On paper, the Beretta APX A1 Carry looked like a winner. $449 MSRP, modular back straps, optics-ready slide, and a slick easy rack design. It checked every box on the micro 9mm spec sheet. But then, shooters actually pulled the trigger and realized it felt like dragging a rake through wet gravel. That long, gritty pull killed the vibe fast. And it got worse. Rental range reports started coming in, premature slide locks, inconsistent cycling. Forums lit up. And once that happens, it spreads faster than burnt powder in a breezy indoor bay. Beretta tried to salvage it, dropped the price to $299 on some dealer blowouts. But even the bargain hunters hesitated. Because today's buyers, they read before they swipe. And in the world of micro 9mm, one early wobble is all it takes to lose the crowd. When confidence drops, people head straight for the P365 or Shield Plus, guns that already earned their keep. Beretta didn't recall the APX A1 carry. They just quietly stopped restocking it and shifted their factory muscle toward the 92 series and shotguns that actually move. Because in this game, slim doesn't mean forgiving, and a spec sheet can't save you if the trigger turns folks away after one squeeze. Number 4. Walther PDP Steel Frame. Built to win, but not to sell. The Walther PDP Steel Frame is an absolute machine, built for competitors, tuned for recoil control. It's the kind of pistol that makes US PSA shooters grin like kids on Christmas morning. But here's the rub. $1,700 MSRP. That's race gun money. And while the steel frame is damn near perfect on the line, it's a hard sell at the counter. Retailers knew it too. They hedged bets, stocking just one here and there. Meanwhile, the polymer PDP full-size flies off the shelves at $699. Lighter, cheaper, and good enough for 90% of buyers. The steel version? It ends up being the gun people drool over and then walk away from. Sure, recoil nerds and match shooters love it, but they're getting theirs through sponsor deals and direct orders, not from big box gun walls. And for the average consumer, once they see the weight and the price, they pivot fast to something lighter, cheaper, maybe even another Walther. The performance? No question. It outclasses a lot of what's out there. But if the sales volume ain't there, retailers move on. And just like that, the steel frame becomes catalog only. Still amazing, but now reserved for folks who know exactly what they want. And don't blink at a 4-figure tag. Sometimes, being the best shooting gun in the room just isn't enough. Number 3. PSA Dagger. When being too cheap kills your shelf spot. The Palmetto State Armory Dagger changed the game. Let's be real. $299 for a Glock pattern pistol with an optics cut? That was unheard of. The early batches flew off the racks like dollar bills at a gun show. Then, PSA did what PSA does. They scaled up, dropped more colorways than a sneaker brand, threw in bundles, sales, daily deals. Suddenly, you're seeing daggers go for $249 shipped. And that's where the trouble started. Retailers who bought at standard wholesale? They couldn't compete. Walk-in customers handled the gun, loved it, then went home and ordered it straight off PSA's site for $40 less, with free shipping. Shops got burned. No margin, no incentive, and nothing but overhead. So what did they do? They stopped stocking it. The Dagger didn't flop. It sold, and still sells, like hotcakes. But now, it sells almost entirely direct. PSA's own success online pulled their gun off the shelves, quietly and efficiently. So if you walk into a gun shop and don't see it, don't assume it failed. It's just that no one in retail wants to fight a company undercutting their own dealer price. The Dagger is the rare case where a pistol got pulled from shelves, not because it couldn't sell, but because it sold too well, in the wrong place. Number 2. CZ-P10F, the right gun at the wrong time. When CZ dropped the P10C, people were hyped. It was their answer to the Glock 19, and it delivered. Clean lines, great ergonomics, solid striker-fired performance. Then came the P10F, the full-size follow-up. $399 MSRP, soft shooter, great accuracy. And for a while, it looked like CZ was ready to make a serious dent in the duty-size polymer market. But that momentum didn't last. Import delays hit. Aftermarket support lagged behind. And in the meantime, shooters still thought of CZ as the metal frame DA/SA company. So when folks hit the gun shop, they skipped right past the P10F and headed toward the SP01 or Shadow 2 if they wanted performance. Or just grabbed a Glock if they wanted striker-fired carry. The P10F got stuck in the middle. Too big for IWB, not steel and sexy enough for competition. And only $20 cheaper than a Glock? That sealed its fate. Reorders slowed. Stores focused on faster movers. CZ kept it in the catalog, sure. But guns like the Scorpion and Bren 2 started taking over U.S. distributor space. And the P10F? It just drifted into shipping limbo. This wasn't a bad gun. It just didn't have a tribe. And in 2025, if you don't have a fan base, you disappear. Number 1. Springfield XDM Elite, overshadowed by its own bloodline. When Springfield rolled out the Echelon at $649, it wasn't just another pistol drop. It was a clear statement. This is the future of our handgun lineup. And just like that, the XDM Elite series, once the pride of Springfield's striker-fired offerings, turned into a legacy product overnight. The Echelon brought innovation where it mattered. A central operating group, a super-low VIS optic system, and smart modularity that had buyers lining up before it even hit shelves. Dealers caught the wave early. They rerouted budget, cleared space, replaced XDM cases with fresh Echelons. And the result? XDMs started gathering dust. Springfield didn't discontinue the Elite series. The SKUs are still alive, but now you'll see them marked down. Clearance tags, bundle deals, last chance buys. Once those are gone, most stores won't restock them, because they don't need to. Why push yesterday's platform when today's sells itself? It creates the illusion the XDM is discontinued. It's not. It's just being quietly cannibalized by its younger sibling. A product that's more modern, more marketable, and more profitable per peg. This isn't about quality. It's about momentum. And right now, all of it belongs to the Echelon. Industry shift. How mag limits quietly kill off 9mm pistols. When a state caps magazines at 10 rounds, it doesn't just affect that state. It changes how guns get stocked across the entire country. Take Illinois. A dealer who used to order bulk VP9s with 17-round mags now has to juggle reduced capacity versions. HK technically offers those, sure, but the logistics? They get messy fast. Separate SKUs, separate barcodes, different state-by-state restrictions. For big box chains, that's too much friction. So instead of managing 2 versions of the same pistol, they just drop it from shelves altogether. To the customer, it looks like the gun vanished. In reality, it's just the retailer cutting risk. And it's not just HK. A lot of manufacturers don't offer dedicated 10-round SKUs. Even if they do, stocking them can be a gamble. What happens when the laws swing back? You're stuck with orphaned mags and dead inventory. That's why companies like Smith & Wesson, with factory-ready 10-round models like the Shield Plus, end up soaking up shelf space. They're safe bets, consistent, compliant, and easy to move. Meanwhile, other pistols slowly disappear from display cases, not because they failed, but because mag laws made them too complicated to keep around. Outdated accessory systems, the hidden cost that kills shelf appeal. Back in 2021, a pair of suppressor height sights cost around $79. Now, $119 easy. And these days, optics ready isn't just a nice bonus. It's expected. Pistols without intuitive mounting systems? They get left behind, fast. Take the Beretta 92 X R, for example. It's got the optics cut, sure, but the plates? Sold separately for $39 apiece. Now add a red dot, a spare mag or two, maybe a holster that fits the setup. Suddenly, you're $400 above MSRP, and all you've done is make the gun functional for 2025. Meanwhile, a competitor down the shelf sells a gun that comes with the plates in box. No guesswork, no extra cost, just mount and go. Retailers know what's coming, so before the customer even sees the sticker shock, they've already ordered fewer units. No confrontation, no slow returns, just a quiet exit from the display case. This isn't about whether the base gun is bad. It's about the fact that accessory inflation silently makes it look overpriced, even when the sticker stays the same. And when the full setup costs more than a direct competitor's all-in package? Most shooters walk away without ever giving it a second look. Trade-in surplus, when used guns kill new ones. Most folks overlook it, but trade-ins move the market fast. Take the Sig P320. When law enforcement cycles them out, they flood wholesalers with certified pre-owned units priced at $349. Shops scoop them up. Why not? They undercut new VP9s or 92 X's, and they sell quick. Now picture this. You're a casual shooter. You walk in. You've got a choice. Brand new full-size 9mm for $799, or a lightly used duty gun at half the price. Same performance, just a little holster wear. Easy choice. That's the problem. New in-box SKUs stall. Shops stop reordering. Money shifts to used stock with better margins and faster turns. Can manufacturers stop it? Not really. They wait it out. Let the surplus dry up and hope demand swings back. Until then, brand new pistols might still be in the catalog, but they're nowhere near the shelf. And that's a wrap. This trend isn't slowing down. If a pistol doesn't ship optics ready, or it holds less than 13 rounds, it's halfway to being cut. Shops care about turn rate, not nostalgia. And manufacturers? They're already prepping replacements. So if there's a gun you've been eyeing, don't wait. It could be catalog only tomorrow. Now it's your turn. What do you think's the next to disappear? Drop your take below. And if you like this one, share it with your range crew, hit subscribe, and slap that bell like a slide release under pressure. We've got more coming soon.